G'day fellas and welcome to game number 3 in your semi-finals of Outback Octagon 2. With me this evening is the one and only, the very lovely Killer Pigeon. KP, how you doing?
Oh, feeling phenomenal, my friend. Semi-finals already upon us. 2 games before we reset the scores, and still everything to play for. We saw some phenomenal performances already from Rook early on, and now Salami just slamming it in that game number 2. There's still so much on the line here, with plenty of faces still fighting for a chance to make it in that top 8 in this very lobby.
Indeed, and speaking of faces, it's time to introduce our players for this game. In the north of the map, on the color orange, as the French civilization, it is 3DB. To his south, also on the French, playing in the color purple, it's Divine DFP. In the middle of the map, on the 12 o'clock position, playing as the English, one of our 4 English players for this game, it is Wham01. To his east, in the color yellow, playing as the Rus with barely even 80 Bunty in the pocket, it's Marine Lord. To his east, playing on the English, in the color blue, it's Vortex. To their south, on the color teal with a beautiful spawn away from everybody, it is Beastie, also on the English. To his west, in the color red, playing as the English as well. 4 English, jeez Louise. It's Anatant. And last but not least, in the color pink, playing as the Abbasid dynasty, it's Recon. All right, KP, if you had to pick one player right now from their spawns, who's it going to be for the win?
That's Vortex. Have you seen the spawn right now? Have a look at this. You get English in a game like this. You decide you're going to be a corner camper because you grew up in Call of Duty. And then you spawn next to 3 stone outcroppings and 1 big stone outcropping. You know what I'm hearing right there? I'm hearing a lot of walls, a lot of castles, and a nice little cozy corner.
That is a lot. In fact, he's actually got enough right there. 3,600 plus 2,400. He's got enough to make a wonder just with the stone that's in his base. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. And all he has to do is get rid of someone in yellow who's playing on a civ they clearly don't feel comfortable on, you know, because they have this whole bounty issue. They're kind of allergic to it. In fairness, like, Marine Lord's position isn't necessarily terrible, but I'm a little bit worried, like, if the north turns between a battle between purple and orange, do you not think Wham comes looking for Marine Lord, who's, like, the other closest player, right? If he wants to stay out of that freeway. He might just kind of get a freebie.
I would suspect you might be right, and that's always something to look out for. We've got ourselves a little bit of action, though, over on that east side, as the boar is just chasing after the scout right now. He is intent on taking that scout out, but fortunately, aggro does get drawn back towards the villagers. It looks like Vortex will be able to pick up that very first juicy boar nice and early in this game as well. It's going to be lovely for him.
That's pretty cool as the English, right? Because you can actually just hop, skip, jump. You got this stone for multiple TCs, but you can just consider maybe doing like a fast castle, either King's Pass, or maybe you want to get White Tower because you see an early like kill opportunity. So I think Vortex, like, everything's ticked on the boxes, right? Great spawn around him, great opening on the boar especially, options on the table. Meanwhile, to the south side, like Beastie, you mentioned he's got quite a kind of loose position with not too many people around him. I'm curious as to whether he's going to try to make a move early, though. Because Beastie is like that type of player, especially when you're on the civ like the English, in this type of position. You probably just want to secure your position before you go hunting, right?
Yeah, I would agree with you completely. But we do now start to see Vortex moving out. I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Beastie. I just like his position a little bit more. He's a little bit further away, and he's very isolated from everybody. Like you mentioned before, you've kind of got Marine Lord, who is obviously no pushover for Vortex, and then in the north of the map, you've got B versus Divine. Wham kind of sits here in the middle. Actually, Wham's spot's probably not that bad in that he's got mobility. As you mentioned, he can be looking for kills. And then down in the south, Anatant probably going to be looking to fight up against Recon. That leaves Beastie uncontested. It leaves Wham potentially uncontested. You never know how it's going to go with these kind of games. But yeah, I've got my money on the Beast. Let's just say that much. Now, let's talk a little bit about points from last game. You mentioned a couple of big names in those last games. Well, I'm going to flash up a point on the screen now for everybody to see. This will be updated so that you can see the points from game 2 and see the current positions. So one notable jump is Salami. Salami has jumped from, I think he was sitting at rank 9 or position number 9. He's up to rank or position number 2 now. But when it comes to this game, we've got some big people who are in potential to be knocked out. Wham and Anatant are kind of on that borderline, but obviously Beastie and Marine Lord are a little bit more points than the average bear. But I mean, in striking distance, though, we've got Vortex, we've got Divine, we've got Recon. They all sit pretty close on points. B down there on 6 points. Still within striking distance, but he's going to need an incredible game.
Yeah, and the interesting thing I'm seeing from like this scoreboard is already like I mentioned, the Vortex got a really good position, but he's one of the players that can upset the balance of power, right? Like it doesn't matter whether you get 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, it just matters that you get in that top 8, and he's one of the people that can test that. He's right next to 2 players that are already locked in, both Beastie and Marine Lord, and if they see he's got this type of corner, they might just try to target him out together, right? Like it's not teaming, it's just a logical playing of the current score system, right?
Yeah, I got to agree with you. It's going to be particularly interesting because Vortex, who we've been highlighting a lot early on, is now going for the Abbey of Kings. Something that we haven't really been seeing a whole lot of. But yeah, I'm curious exactly what the plan is here. I suspect probably Fast Castle into Knights. I think that's what it's going to be. I think he's probably just going to stick it out 1 TC. Probably goes into King's Palace, but then just goes into like quadruple stable or something, maybe? Maybe not quadruple, maybe triple stable. But he'll be looking for a second king, that is for sure.
Isn't me, like, honestly, when I see an Abbey of Kings drop like this, it heals things around it. It honestly looks like Vortex is trying to resurrect the deer. Like, it's just in the middle of an entire deer patch. Like, please, bring Bambi back, man.
You were so young.
You know, that's possible if you watch that movie in reverse. Like, you know, Bambi's mum actually is resurrected.
You know, I don't actually think I've ever watched it, but hold on a minute. A second Abbey of Kings is coming in from Anatand on the south side. Yeah. We are seeing an evolution in English gameplay. In the middle of the map, Wham's gone for a council hall, Beastie going for a council hall as well. So the English players are split 2 and 2. Recon reaches the feudal age. He's gone up with the economic wing. So I guess realistically, I mean, to be fair, Recon's kind of the same distance away from Anatand as Beastie. Who knows exactly how this game unfolds?
Well, the thing is, Recon has free reign to play to the north side, right? Where there's loads of wood, which you want as the Abbasids. And by the way, like, we've got to highlight that. Recon got the Abbasids in... Is this his second game? Or is he playing the 4th one as well? I think this is his final game, right?
I'd have to double check. Let me double check right now.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah,
I'm putting the spot, but like...
Recon played the first game. That's correct.
Yes. So, like, this is a big deal because this is his signature civ. Like, this is the one that Recon's always been most comfortable on. Like, if you had your back up against the wall and you just needed to net those extra points, this is a great position to find yourself in. And on the map, it's a decent position as well because that northern side is all for free. One interesting thing to think about this Abbey of Kings opening, by the way, from the English players, there's a very big difference between what Vortex and Anatand are doing here. You mentioned the idea of going into Knights. Have a look around Vortex and, like, ID the lack of big gold. Then check Anatand's base and see that right now, he might as well be in Mali. He's got so much gold.
There is a lot of gold right now. It's a huge amount of gold, actually, but both of them, interestingly, going into 2 TC. So maybe we see 2 TC into White Tower. That could probably be the play.
Yeah.
Interestingly...
I like the White Tower.
Yeah, I like it as well. I think it's really good. No, I was just going to mention that, interestingly, Beastie's also going to be going for that second TC. Wham, on the other hand, one of the few players who decides Castle Age is better suited for him.
I think it makes sense with his position though, right? Because I think he wants to, like, get bolstered up and then maybe wall himself in. Like, it seems kind of cringe to have to wall an area this big, but he has got those mountains nearby. He's got a lot of fat tree lines. So it is a reasonably defendable area as long as you're tech ahead.
Yeah, I got to agree. It's a pretty nice little spot, but up towards the north side, we see a second town center coming up for B now. Compare that to Divine, who realizes and throws down his mining camp a little bit later, but does have the early advantage. And we also see a forward outpost coming in, so early aggression is going to be the name of the game here. Marine Lord also going into a second town center. The ball gets pulled. Marine Lord, watch out. Mum's on the loose. Here she comes, and he just says, thank you for pulling the ball. I was planning on taking it out sooner or later, but the villager, a little bit exposed. Militia is going to come through. We'll defend the villager. Villager does head back towards the safety of the Kremlin. Marine Lord, his villagers live to see another day, but there is another... It's a weakened Vil back here, but he does do the right thing and pulls back the militia for now. So is that everyone going 2 TCs?
I think that is, like, on a delay, sure. Like, Divine's taking a little bit of time, but he will be there. It's just funny to watch that northern side, though, right? Because they're both playing French. It's almost like Divine's looked in and gone, oh, yeah, I like that. That's a good build. I'm just going to copy your homework now, right? And because B did go up first, we're going to see him now going into the racks to kind of, like, you know, insulate his area. Something to mention about B's position is it actually sucks, considering what Divine is doing. Like, look around him for resources. Can you see anything safe for B?
Yeah,
Like, look where his gold is.
There's nothing, right? Like, the gold is sitting out here. He's got no villages on it. So he's got no access to gold whatsoever. Where does that leave him? It leaves him going, like, spears, horsemen, I guess?
Like, do you want to go horsemen? You probably just go spears, right? Until you see archers. So, like,
Just spears.
Yeah, it's just spears. Be the biggest Britney fan you can. Like, that's all you've got. And the cringe part for him is, like, Divine's already getting racks as well, right? So he's going to keep the pressure up. You know, but on the plus side, Rongo, I love the way this is generated. At least B does have one thing hidden away in the tree line. This random berry patch. Like, why is that spawned there?
It's a strategic berry patch spawn. It's the only resource that actually spawned on the outside, actually. Everything else is on the inside.
You know what it is, Rongo? It's a balance point for Delhi, because now, like, if we start spawning the berries on the outskirts of the forest, you're like, well, you can either be on the corner and have all the food, or have sacred sites in the center. Genius.
Very genius. And speaking of sacred sites, I mean, we haven't really talked much about it. Of course, this map is Blue Mountains. It's a custom map made for us by the lovely Biddlin. And he has put a whole bunch of sacred sites on this map, which is amazing for the Delhi Sultanate. So in total, I think there's 7 sacred sites. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's the 7th one? Down here. Inside the base of BC. I love that BC just gets a random sacred site. It's like, here, BC, you have a sacred site. You know, you're going to be the one arbiter that prevents sacred victories from happening.
And he's already making sure it's hard to reach. You've seen these wide walls, right? Like, he's taken a huge chunk of the map here with Palisades. He's the only player walling so far. And I did mention this earlier, right? Like, I do not expect him to come out too soon. BC is the type of player, especially in these free-for-all environments, especially with the experiences he's had. I don't think we have to kind of reminisce on quick GGs. He'd rather protect himself before he goes hunting.
Yeah.
That's always his first priority.
And I like that. It makes a lot of sense to me. I think in these FFAs, you never know who's going to attack you. I know in the last game that we watched, we didn't actually see it, but Don Artie sent me a message. He said, I was actually killing Matiz when he was trying to contest the sacred site in the middle of the map, and I almost got him. So it was, you never know who's going to stab you in the back.
You know what that's like? That's like the nuclear apocalypse is upon us, right? And you just walk next door and stab your neighbor you've hated the whole time. Like, we're going to die in a few seconds anyway, so I'm just going to do this.
You know, I feel like that's oddly specific, KP.
Well,
is there something you want to talk about?
I mean, luckily there hasn't been a nuclear apocalypse, so I think I'm covered on, like, you know, legal grounds for that reason. I don't think that's an admission of guilt. But if it happens in the future, I don't know, maybe I'm just an oracle. By the way, the Bounty Boy is actually doing something with what he bountied. We've actually got pro scouts coming out from Marine Lord.
I did see that, yeah. Marine Lord is doing pretty well. And we can see that the Knight meta in FFAs is well and truly unfolding right now, as 3 stables are going to be coming down for him. Meanwhile, we've got a forward white tower on the south side. Look at this Anatan going absolutely ham down here and looking to push down upon the base of Recon.
Oh man, and Recon, he had a few cav units. If he scout this out early, he may have been able to do irreparable damage and prevent it going up. But like, the good news for Recon's in his position, you know, you can just always keep going north, right? Just keep migrating until you come around yourself. One thing to note about that bounty play by Marine Lord on the east side, though, I think is going to be important, is he pulls the deer away. He like slows down his requirement to go farms. But if you look now at the resources that Vortex has access to, he has to go farms. Now, English do get those farms cheaper, but what Marine Lord is essentially doing here is he's crippling Vortex's position from a scaling perspective, right? So instead of you seeing him hop skip into Imperial, Vortex now has to kind of lag around in Castle Age for longer.
Yeah, because he's got to put down those farms a lot sooner than he would have liked to. And you can see now he is having to add those in, doesn't get to utilize that food on the front of his base. And at the end of the day, I mean, he's playing English, so it's not a huge pain for him to do this. And it would have been something that's obviously necessary throughout the game, but as you are correct, it's something that has to be done now, rather than was an option.
I mean, you get them 50% cheaper, right? But like, the thing I always like to point out is, like, you know, if you can have something like deer beforehand as English, you'd rather have that, because although it's 37 wood, you get these buff gathering rates on food. It's only on food, right? So when you're gathering wood, your rates kind of suck. So you prefer to wait until you've got this level 2 geeker upgrade, or are almost that phase, before you make the full farm transition. Someone who is a big fan of wood, though, if you'd like to look at the north side. Yeah, you see that, right?
I see it, yeah. He's hiding everything up here. And look, he's completely out of wood on the front line, just unable to even touch it. And has to fall back towards these trees back here. It's not a good spot.
Oh, It's going to get worse as well. Divine DFP went into Archers ahead of B because he can actually afford it, right? And this secondary TC is exposed. 2 Rams just got built up by purple, so Divine DFP is going to make B's life even worse.
Now, B's got a pretty significant villager lead. He's up 24 vills, so I think my question is going to be whether he can actually overcome the amount of force that Divine's got here just through his economy. We can see him starting to push out with those spears now. A lot of spears, 28 spears in total. You did mention you'd just be going full spears here. I always like spear horsemen against the French.
Yeah, but it's like, in this situation, I don't think you can afford horsemen because you need to get the farms. And this is the issue. Archer's already there, so he wishes he had them. That means that second TC, like, I don't see how you defend this. You lose the entire army. But if you don't defend it here, it's just a tile away to reach your primary, right? So it's like, stand your ground here or get pushed off the map in tile.
Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, well, the push is definitely coming to shove on this north side of the map. Numbers starting to dwindle here for B. Keep in mind, this is B's first game, so we'll have an opportunity to score points in the next game as well. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, Wham is just cleaning up all these sacred sites. He's taken 2 already, looking to capture a 3rd one. He's having a great time.
Oh man, I'm just keeping an eye on what's happening in the north side, because what I'm worried about now is like B, you don't really have any recourse. If Divine DFP realizes how kind of crippled you are right now, you can kill the knights and chase on the villagers with the back farms. The only thing that is keeping B in this game remotely is the fact that he hit these farms in the stealth forest he dropped down.
Yeah, they're a little bit further away, but we now start to see the fight attempting to hold. It looks like Divine might struggle to actually hold this attack. B is looking pretty good. If B can survive through this, he'll be able to last it with the economy, though.
Yeah, the interesting thing that happened here is Divine DFP got really tunnel visioned onto the TC. These Rams could have done a lot of damage elsewhere, right? They could have went into the racks, and that would have prevented this kind of death ball that B got back into. So great hold by B nonetheless. Divine does have to retreat, but thanks to this stupid outpost that he set up early, he'll have some sort of reset point to slow things down.
Yeah, definitely the case. Well, it looks like B will survive for a little bit longer here. But this only just opens it up to somebody like Wham coming through and saying, hey, don't mind me, I'm just going to take the couple of points right here. Which is something that you pointed out earlier, the fact that Wham is always just going to be hovering.
Yeah, and the missed opportunity there. He has got the scouting vision on this, but he doesn't want to get involved just yet. If he charged in there, I think Divine loses like 10 villages on that berry patch. That would have been huge, because if you look, Divine DFP, he's got 224 stone. He's making me feel a bit better about my TC timings, because he never went for a secondary one as the French hit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. He's got plenty of... oh, it was because he got the upgrade. That's why. Oh, it all makes sense now. He did have enough... He mined enough gold to get the second TC, but he got the upgrade.
Oh, yeah, this is the fortification on the outpost,
yeah,
right? On the front side, yeah. But, like, now I think he wishes he had that extra eco. I think he could have still had an archer master that was annoying. But B, all of a sudden looking alive. All he has to do now is move out and throw up that outpost. He can reclaim that wood line. He'll have access to gold again if Wham ever leaves him alone. But that's the key conditional, right? Wham has to leave.
Yeah. And it doesn't really look like he's leaving him alone. That's a lot of knights. And they are in position as well. We can see him cleaning up villages here.
Well, look at the health of the TC.
Yeah.
It's half HP on the town center.
He's repairing it, though. He's got that going for him. But look at this. Reinforcements going to be coming back. Keep in mind, there's a significant amount of spears. But he's got 13 spears. So that's more than enough to make a bit of a dent in this army. The question's going to be whether he gets back in time, though.
But also the Carthage Knights, and there's a second wave coming in. This one of Men-at-Arms. I mean, this is B dead. Like, if he gets pinched the moment he comes out of TC, his army isn't big enough to stop this.
All right, well, it'll be first blood if he goes down. King is on the move, jumps back inside. Vills do a little bit of a sneaky repair. And you can see just how close those knights are hugging that exit point. He wants to take it out. King now popping down onto the ground. Spears looking to meet the maker as well. The King, he's stuck. He's stuck. He pops the movement speed, but he's blocked. He enters back inside the town center, does a little bit of a jig, still stuck, still holding on for dear life, and now surrounded. But the King makes it out. He makes it through some way, somehow. He's got nowhere to go. There's an outpost that's going to be coming up. He's throwing it down with as many vills as he possibly can.
Oh, I mean, I don't think it's going up in time. Go.
It's not. And
if they get another charge out,
assassinates B.
27 HP.
It all goes down in the blink of an eye like that. Wham. B almost survived, but Wham going to be able to take the kill, and that puts him in a great spot. Now going to be challenging Divine in the middle. Remember, he's in that castle age. He's got a huge sprawling base, massive economy going, sacred sites for days. Wham is a major threat.
And Divine should be an easy follow-up cleanup. Like, he's already in his base. Men-at-Arms and Knights just dangling around this area. This is 2 Fuel Age French up against Castle Age English. Like, you know, at that stage, there's nothing you do better. There's 0 things in the game. So, Wham, looking like it's quickly going to be 300 cap. People are going to have to take note of this. And the problem is, like, there's this kind of delicate balance on the eastern side closest to him when no one wants to make a move yet between blue, yellow, and teal. And in fact, right now, they keep probing each other when they should be more worried about this concern behind them.
Yeah, you're 100% on the money, and we do start to see Marine Lord looking to push through into the base of Vortex. He's got a significant population lead. King is on the move right now, making a little bit of a run for it towards the back line. Will be able to get out, will be able to survive a little bit longer. White Tower will be going down, and Vortex in trouble on this east side. Meanwhile, back towards the north, Divine will be going down shortly, it seems.
By the way, I think I can't get the... I'm 10 seconds behind you, and I can't actually get forward to that. We don't want to do a quick mid-game sync up.
Because we're...
this next kill.
Yeah, because we're synced up with the in-game chat. King goes down in a heartbeat right there.
Oh, yeah.
Divine gets assassinated by Wham, and that puts Wham with 2 kills now. And he gets first blood as well. So he's up 3 points in this game already.
He was, like, I think he was already qualified, right? I think Wham had enough points, or was just on the edge of having enough.
Let's take a look quickly at the scoreboard. Just have a look where Wham is. He was on 15 points, so he was kind of like getting threatened with you know, a good time. And Wham's always the kind of guy to take a good time. Exactly. You know? It's going to be a wonderful time for him.
Oh man, speaking of good times, look at the center of the map. Like, he's got 4 Sacred Sites for free. He could even grab the 5th one. Like, Beastie, I don't know how Beastie got in here to yoink one, but, like, that's not an area he can hold, right?
It's free real estate.
At this rate, but the concern of Hard Dogger is, like, look at the rest of the map. Who is going to address Wham? It feels like everyone is engaged right now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, look down on the south side. Enatan, his king is under threat. Meanwhile, at the same time, Marine Lord is threatening Vortex. So you've got, you know, 2 sets of people that are engaged. It even feels like Beastie is very invested down here as well. He's got a lot of knights roaming down. And now we start to see Recon beginning to aggress. White Tower going to be going down shortly. King is on the ground. King is on the move. King comes out. He's exposed. Beastie comes through. Whether he sees it or not, that's going to be a different question. We'll check in with Beastie. His king not yet out. Meanwhile, looks like more landmarks going to be going down over on that east side. And the king is on the run. And you can see Recon is chasing the king, trying his best to find it. Looks like he may have made it all the way through. He's trying to chop through. Does he get it? He's trying his best. He chops through. He finds it. He doesn't get the quick wall off, though. Still, the Knights are in hot pursuit right now. Enatan trying once again with the great escape. And he manages to make it back towards the capital town center. He lives to see another day.
Typical selfish kings in the medieval time, right? They lead you to the peasants. The peasants can actually be the ones that die in the war. I'm going to hide in the town center. Everyone get a short bow or a long bow and start fighting, because we seem to have a slight invasion issue from 2 different civilizations.
And you can see just how badly both of them want it. They're sticking around here. Beastie going to be coming in from that top side. Wham reaches the Imperial Age. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. There's no runaway in this game, he'll tell you. But I can assure you, Wham might not be trading, but he's definitely looking confident in this late game.
We're starting to see the logic behind going for the Abbey Kings, guys. It's the fact that you can build another king that has a hovering thing above his head that confuses the crap out of everyone when they come hunting. Like, I think at the start of that fight near Recon's base, there's a moment where, like, they kind of pivoted towards the mounted king for a second, thinking that was actually the 2-foot man. It's kind of a meanful thing, bro.
We didn't see it, but Recon assassinated Enatan. I have no idea how. That king was meant to be inside the town center. I thought we had at least another 5 seconds. That's our first king miss of the semifinals. I'll take it. Jeez.
Was he actually at the town center? Because I was watching, there was something glowing, but, like, it didn't have a symbol above his head. That's why I was like, huh.
There's no way. The town center still stands at this point. So he popped it out, and I guess he just wasn't expecting the surround. But speaking of pop-outs right now, Berkshire Palace is going down on this east side right now. 25 minutes into this game, the Berkshire holding on for dear life. You can see the battering rams working away at it. Villagers keep popping in, popping out. Marine Lord trying to take out Vortex. Beastie nowhere to be seen. And a new age begins. It's going to be for Marine Lord. He hits the Imperial Age. We've got everybody in Imperial except for Recon. but surely he's on the way. King out, King on the ground. King pops out. He's making his way over towards that east corner. Boiling Oil's through. You got a lot to work through, and it looks like Vortex survives another day.
Is this surviving though? I'm just like looking to the left at his base. If this is what living is, I don't want to live it. This is.
It's not looking pretty. All right.
No, he's got like what? How many? 68 villages at this stage, and he has a small corner to work with. Like Marine Lord is going to take him a bit longer, but I think this should be a cleanup kill in the next 3 minutes unless someone intervenes.
And that's the thing, right? I think intervention is definitely a possibility here. The question's going to be whether Beastie realizes it. His army's in position, and it's a good army. Elite units, elite crossbows, elite knights. Very solid. But look at this, Wham now. He's starting to make moves. He's moving out over towards the base of Recon. Recon's actually over the 200 pop limit at this point. Obviously picking up that kill a little bit earlier on Anatan. I think you could definitely say he deserved it. He was fighting against Anatan for quite some time.
Yeah, and the awkward thing here is like Wham is maybe kind of overexerting himself. He's getting there, but not quite there yet. You look at his resource bank, he's not even at pop cap here trying to push in. He'll get a decent raid, but the problem is going to be these Abbasid spears with the phalanx. It should be a nuisance for him to breach through. So I think it benefits him to have more forward Raxes for these men-at-arms.
All right, well, we'll continue to watch how it unfolds. I've just been told apparently the game sound is quite loud, so I'm gonna try and do something on my end to reduce that down. Give me a second here. I'm gonna open up my mixer profile and see if I can turn.
You're trying to tell me you guys don't want to be immersed in the clinks of battle?
There we go.
Wait, Recon's on the run. Recon's running. He's going west.
Where's Recon? There he is. All right, I've turned it down a little bit. Recon is on the run, and there's a lot of Kings here. Look at this. The Kings are surrounding right now. Manages to juke it, though, spots it, and gets it back into the town center. Well played by him to do it. But, yeah, he's in real trouble right now. Wham is looking aggressive.
Yeah, and the bombards are the key here, right? The siege is cleaning up behind them. And, you know, the phalanx spears look decent, but the issue with Recon is, like, it just feels like his food income isn't good enough. And his production lines are too far back to get an army in position to hold these choke points.
All right, well, over on that east side, you can see that we've got intervention coming through now. Beastie is looking for the King. He says, where are you? Where are you? I know you're around here somewhere. King sits at the back corner with nowhere to run in this situation.
Marine Lord's army went from premium to kind of looking discount. I mean, you got a few guys with guns, but a few horsemen in there. The knight number's not as high as they were. Still on the rams, though. I love this, because you are Roos, you've got plenty of wood. That's the one thing you definitely can guarantee you'll have optimal amounts of as the game goes on. Yeah, that extra 20% just gives you a massive bonus throughout the game. So apparently the sound was absolutely fine. I've gone back and fixed it up, so it should be better for you guys now. Got it. Were you listening to the one person that's listening to the broadcast on the subwoofer? Is that what happened there?
It seems that that's the case. Mr. Merlin, you got to upgrade your speakers. Get off the... I mean, what kind of headset would you imagine Mr. Merlin's using? I would imagine it's probably one from like the supermarket, and it's the cheapest one in the supermarket. You know, not even like the top item supermarket headset.
I would assume it's like, you know, one of those Ben 10 headsets that the 10-year-olds are crazy about.
Yes,
you know, maybe in like the vibrant green.
But it's not even like an actual real Ben 10. It's a knockoff Ben 10 headset. Yeah. Mr. Merlin, how could you do that?
Off-brand green.
Oh, that's disgusting, Mr. Merlin. What's wrong with you?
You're taking money from the mouths of millionaires. What the hell?
Mr. Merlin. All right, well, we got death imminent on both sides of this map right now. On the west side, it looks like Recon's probably going to be going down shortly. Wham is trying his best to take him out, but I mean, realistically, there's a pretty good amount of units that are bleeding out here. And look at the resource counts for both of these players. It doesn't really look that imminent. Over on the east side, though, I mean, Vortex almost certainly is not going to be living longer than 5 minutes.
No, I mean, like, you're English and you have no wood. What is your identity at this stage? Look at the farms to be burnt down as well. I mean, basically at this stage, Vortex just has to choose who do I die to. Yeah. You know, who am I going to fight? Because the other one's going to go in while I'm not there. I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, both of these guys... Actually, I think... I'm going to quickly check the points. Give me a second here. Hold on a minute. They were close. I think BC had less points than Marine Lord by like 2 or 3. Yeah, so ideally you'd want the points to go to Marine Lord, right? But, I mean, BC's probably through anyway. But we do see that King does... Oh my god, where did the King go? Where did the King go?
Oh, he's to the north. Oh, he's popped out the king to the north. He's trying to do a little bit of a run by. Does Marine Lord not realize?
Okay, this is the part where he like puts on one of those Russian hats and gets a vodka and tries to fit in because he's leaving his kingdom.
Both of the kings are out right now. Marine Lord's king standing idly by, but also Vortex's king is standing idly by.
Oh my god, is this like a Pokemon battle?
But look, now the king is exposed, and you can see, I think Beastie realizes it. Beastie popped the king out for a split second. I saw it. He's used that bonus, and now he knows where the king is. It's double king on the top side. Villagers looking to surround now, and you can see that Vortex... Oh, this is not good for Vortex. Almost certain death for him. Little bit of an escape here. Beastie's through, though.
I think he's chosen his fate. He's chosen his fate, though, right? Like, he's just trying to run past Marine Lord's base because there's just a few weak villagers.
He was looking for a way through, and Beastie's going to be absolutely sour about this one.
Oh, man.
The king barely escapes as he T-poses through, and Marine Lord picks up the kill, assassinating Vortex. Vortex was hoping there'd be a way through. You saw him come up to the top side. You saw him run into that wall, and he just knew from there it was all over. There was no way he could possibly escape this death. He knew that there was no way he could run south. The wall was completely engulfed by the enemy wall. He had no choice but to go north.
And the second element of like these walls that we saw that he played into, right, that he tried to run past, is not only did it stop Vortex's king from getting away with some shenanigans, it then also stopped Beastie from splitting his knights up and crippling Marine Lord's eco on the backside of this farm. So like multifaceted usage there. M-Lord now in a really good position. And keep in mind, while this has all been going on, both him and Wham have decided to create a little no man's land to the west, right? Your Berlin walls, if you will. They're not fighting at all.
It's a demilitarized zone.
Exactly. No one goes there. No one's allowed to even breathe there. So now it just turns into a Marine Lord versus Beastie. And well, we know how that went down last time we saw it in a 1v1. These 1v1s have a little bit of spice, a little bit of a twist.
Indeed. Now, there might be some question or some people wondering, was this a king donation over here with Vortex and Beastie and all of that? You know, was he trying to prevent Beastie from getting the kill? I don't think that was the case. I don't think it was. I mean, the admin might have a different thought process about this, but the way I see it, is that it was very clear that Vortex had nowhere to go. So his mindset was, well, I can't go south because Beastie's completely walled that in. Maybe I can go north. But obviously, once he scouted out that the walls were here from Marine Lord, that he knew that there was nowhere to go, and that kind of left him empty-handed. So I don't think that was a king donation. And if it was, he sold it very well to me. So I would suspect that's probably what the admin thinks, but we'll have to wait and hear from them with regard to that.
Let me put this simple other way. If you're a Beastie fan, that was a king donation. If you're a Marine Lord fan, it was not. Like, honestly, he had nowhere to run, right? So he was just trying to find a way out, blind in a stealth forest, right? Just imagine this is a 90-year-old man who forgot his glasses, because that's essentially what that king was. He didn't know what he was running into, but he definitely knew that there was a lot of knights waiting for him on the south side of the base.
Correct. And he knew that there was nowhere to go on that south side, and it was only a matter of time until all those keeps were going to be going down. But we now start to see Marine Lord and Beastie picking battles with each other. It's going to be two titans here fighting up against one another. At the same time, Wham begins building an army, and it's an absolutely insane army. Look at this. 53 hand cannoneers, 65 men-at-arms. You don't want to mess with that, that's for sure.
And, you know, just a few mangonels and bombards in case you run into Streltsy in your next battle. I've got a feeling that, you know, he could go for recon again, but, like, Marine Lord is fairly close to him, right? And if you time it right, Marine Lord's army might be abroad dealing with the English to the south.
Yeah. I think this is where it kind of gets awkward for Wham. Like, he's done really well up until this point, but now he's in the middle of all three of these players. And it only takes one player to backstab. And that may be Marine Lord. Now, he has got a... The king is actually in the town center, the central town center, the capital town center.
Can we maybe move him to the safe Berkshire out in the countryside?
But if you do that, then you're a little bit exposed to Marine Lord. What is there to stop 10 battering rams just walking into one wall, 2 walls, 3 walls, a keep? That's a pretty long list of to-dos.
So like, if you're me, Drongo, you probably don't notice until they're through 3 walls, but I would hope, like, Wham being one of the top players again, by the time they're through 1 wall, he's probably like, okay, we're going back to the city, right? That's the nice thing he's done here with this corner. It's kind of unfortunate that all this crap is behind him from dead players. I know, so selfish. Because it makes it hard to just wall upon wall upon wall, right? Because you've got the remnants of B's base just blocking that path.
I mean, you can siege it down, but it's going to be a long mission for you.
Exactly.
Speaking of,
how many people do you want to
missions,
send? Like, you just... Ooh.
We got a secret stealth mission right now. Keep your voices down, everybody. We're turning down the in-game sound. Everybody be quiet.
Recon sees it.
He spots it. He's going for a gate on the top side. He's going for a gate on the top side. Sneaky. We have to be quiet. We're in the forest. Beastie got exposed. All right, we're bringing the...
Here we see the Abbasids in their natural habitat.
Oh
my god, they've got cannons!
Look how big this army is on the defense side for Recon. It's absolutely huge. There is no way. I mean, it was a nice attempt from Beastie. Hold your horses, hold on. These bombards may have had a chance. They could always snipe out the keep. But it looks like it's completely cleaned up.
Yeah, no way he can get in on that. It was a nice idea there, but the awkward issue is like the vision from the castle, just to the north where the Raxes are, saw this coming earlier than I think Beastie would have liked. Like, by the time it was seen, his bombards were still about 10 seconds away, I think. And that really would have been the difference between breaking the keep.
Yeah. Well, take a look at this. While that was happening, Beastie is a little bit short on units. He's got plenty of production, though, so he should be fine in that regard. He's up to 177 at the moment, but there are a lot of rams. Now, let's do a king check. Berkshire Palace is where his king is.
As all kings should be. He has got a secondary keep in case things get a little bit wily over here. White Tower as well, just to the west side. Like, this is a decent kind of budget Aghanim line. You can dive past the horsemen, but if you get anywhere near them, the ball and all is going to do more than just tickle.
All right, well, Beastie holding on for dear life right now. He's made an enemy on the west side, and it seems there's an enemy to the north as well, as he pushes in with severe anger pointed towards Beastie right now. Streltsy on the back line, just teeing off towards all of these units, having a field day. But Beastie's got good reinforcements. He's got plenty of resources in the bank. He should be fine to hold it.
Marine Lord definitely has a big stockpile behind this. He's been very budgeted, though. Always just on these rams only. Rams are pretty impactful at this stage of the game, but maybe just one or two bombards kind of blitz through the keep from a distance might be more value. But he did get one of the relics, okay? And although it might not seem like a lot, you have to keep in mind the psychological damage, folks. He stole your trinkets.
Did he actually steal the relic?
Yeah, it's on the way back to base, near the Kremlin. He's taking it to drop off.
Kremlin, where's the... Oh, there it is. Oh, he did too, you sneaky little devil, Marine Lord. Always up to no good. He's got 5 relics. That'll be his 6th relic. I mean, this guy's got an obsession, doesn't he?
It's kind of like, it's historically accurate as well, right? Like, thousands of people died over this shiny religious bauble. It definitely rings true.
It does. It really does. All right, let's do a quick king check, double check where all these kings are. We've got a king in the town center for Wham in the middle of the map. Quite literally in the middle of the map. When it comes to the king for Marine Lord, it sits safely in a keep over on the east side of the edge of the map. Beasties, of course, in the Berkshire Palace. Nice and safe. And, of course, Recon's up against the edge of the map as well. Take a look at these stone walls coming in from Recon. He is walling completely off this west side of the map.
Oh, Recon. I swear I've heard somewhere that he really likes stone walls.
He does. He loves stone walls.
There's no nest of bees in this game, at least, but like there's definitely plenty of layers to this cake. He understood that he was kind of weak from the north, and since then, I don't think Wham's even attempted anything. Like, if you check Wham's army, they've just been doing marching drills around their base.
They have, yes. I checked in with them not too long ago, about a minute or two, and they were having a wonderful time out there just marching back and forth. So now we enter a similar stage of the game, where that we saw in the first game, where there's a little bit of a stalemate, right? You've got 4 players. They're relatively even. I mean, you've got Beastie on 200 pop versus Wham on 300 pop. Arguably, you'd say Wham is in by far the best position here. But Recon and Marine Lord are pretty close behind. When it comes to stone count, Beastie is eyeing that wonder. Always going to be a possibility with the Beast.
Also, he's kind of set up for a corner eventually if he wants to play for that as well. Like, if you check the south, that's where he had his proxy siege workshop base. There's a castle down here. Usually, if you want to make these type of wonder plays, you want to be able to easily stonewall and have enough left over for multiple layers. So, like, corners are a jackpot. I think that's also where Vortex's position earlier seemed kind of baited, right? I feel like in free-for-alls, when I see a player in the corner, I want to kill them because they're going to be a problem later. Obviously not sooner.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. I guess the one thing for me is like, how does Beastie possibly go about defending a Wonder on a map like this? He is open from every single side, right? Like Marine Lord from the north. There's a very clear passageway for Wham to come through. Obviously from the west, it's going to be Recon coming in. So I don't really think that's a viable option for him.
You'd have to kill Recon. Recon would have to die, and you'd have to inhabit the southern corner. Like, the only person I see going for a Wonder right now is Wham. That's the only person who could do it. Wham just doesn't have the stone right now. Well, BC just isn't getting the relief on his base to go after Recon. Marine Lord is relentless in this base.
Yeah, he's loving it. Yet to bring forward any villagers for forward production, so I don't think he's super serious about these attacks. But the Streltsy on the backline are dominating right now, and he's going to pick up that next relic by the looks of it. At least he picked it up for a split second before he was eliminated, that Warrior Monk. But he's starting to push back quite a significant amount of this production here.
He really likes those shinies. I told you guys.
He really does.
It's not about killing someone. It's just about taking their jewelry, you know?
Marine
Which
Lord.
makes sense. Like, with his new rap album, I guess he needs all the bling that he can possibly get.
He's sitting on 6 relics now. He was trying to make it a 7th one. Didn't find it. Beastie did pick up the relic for a split second before he got eliminated as well. Or rather, his warrior, or his monk, his prelate got eliminated. Prelate? No, it's a monk.
Monk. We don't have any of those fancy German efficiency people here.
Not anymore.
Hanover's didn't come across for a few hundred more years.
It still takes some time. But, I mean, Marine Lord's push is looking a little bit scary.
Yeah, but no, look at Wham's push. He's moving the army finally. After the negotiations in chat and the complaining of other people, Wham is like, he's going after Recon. And he's even building a proxy base to make sure this time he doesn't lose.
All right, well, it's a good push coming out right now. Boiling Oil is through for Recon, so he's going to have to deal with this keep quickly. Can't really get too close. More siege coming up now. He's got double Bombard, double Mango, double Springwood. At the same time, towards the east side, we got ourselves a bit of a battle unfolding. 250 pop versus 200, 300 pop versus 250. As fair as you can get in a game like this. And Beastie with the 3 mangoes on the back line fires off towards the Streltsy. It's a big shot. Triple Mango also coming out for his enemy, though. Marine Lord could be looking at tee off. Manages to find shots on enemy mangoes, but falls back, realizing he can't deal with the production of the enemy and has to regroup. You can see all those reinforcements coming through on that top side.
Beastie just proving that population is simply a number that needs to be purged occasionally. But Marine Lord just quick on the reset, right? Like, always kind of stable towards that 250. His Mangonels are just kind of pseudo Springles here, taking out the siege on the other side. It does feel like Beastie's somewhat still up against the ropes, and he's straining himself to find resources. You can see the western front has been gathering gold over here. I believe that's the last gold vein he actually has access to, bar the one in his base. So he's got like maybe 5,000 gold remaining, and then it's only going to be enclosures to set you up.
And that's never where you want to be with English these days. After the enclosures nerf, it doesn't feel good anymore. But we do see the Abbasid player Recon is pushing back Wham at this point in the middle of the map. Population numbers aren't the highest for him, but he's grinding it out pretty well. Siege on the backline. Yeah, go for it.
There's like a battle going on here, and the workers are just hard at work building new houses for the archers, right? Yeah. You guys keep fighting, ignore the fact we're building an entire base around you.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? At the end of the day, if you don't do it, you're not going to get paid. And I mean, who's gonna buy the bread to feed little Billy at home if you don't do it?
Oh, no. Little Billy has to go to war. You give him a hat, you give him a gun, and he gets out of one of these archery ranges, okay? Nobody sits for free.
Is that before or after he's in the coal mines? They were the good old days.
After. We want him to like be familiar with coal. He's going to be shooting a lot of it.
I love that in some parts of the world, like, child labor is actually coming back. I mean, I don't love that at all.
You love that?
that's terrible.
And now, this is a perfect time to announce we're opening our very own sweatshop. If you guys want to get Drongo merch, you can now get it for the low price of the early years of a child's life.
I was just thinking about, like, in the United States, I read a story about how these 2 10-year-old kids were working at McDonald's at 2 a.m. in the morning, and they weren't being paid.
Inspired.
And I was like, that is just, like, what the hell, man? Like, what is wrong? There are so many things wrong about that story, and it's like,
exactly.
It just keeps getting worse. Like, you couldn't ask for it to get any worse than that.
So what I heard there was like you heard that they weren't getting paid and you were outraged. Like if I owned that McDonald's, they'd at least be making $1.50 every 5 hours.
It's crazy, right? Like
some sweet money.
Unpaid 2 a.m. 10-year-olds. It's like, oh god, it just keeps getting worse, doesn't it? Oh jeez.
Yeah. Please let's keep digging this hole. Like at this rate, you'll be in my front room by the time you're finished digging from Australia.
All right. Well, I'll keep digging. But I guess you can talk a little bit more about the game. Positions haven't really changed that much. We've seen a fair bit of battling over the last couple of minutes, and no one's really made any headway. I mean, if anything, Marine Lord's made a bit of headway down here. I think probably he's one push away from actually getting a kill, especially because the Berkshire Palace, the way that the king pops out, it's towards the side that Marine Lord will be attacking. So, I mean, one big push, and he could do it.
It feels like BC, like I don't know. My issue for him is like the hand cannoneer production doesn't feel thick enough. Like if you look at the back of his base, I think he's added in a bunch more archer ranges now, but I feel like there was a small quantity compared to the rat count. I think that's really stopped BC from kind of maintaining that quality unit to hold.
All right, well, over on the west side, hand cannoneers numbers are rising. Wham up to 77 with 60 hand cannoneers in queue. 60. That is ludicrous. And he's got population space for it. He just... Oh, there's a counterattack. Oh, no. This is what we were talking about. He just deleted all of his army. And immediately, I just watched 1,000 units get deleted in front of my face. The counterattack is on. It's a secret little attack from Marine Lord now, up on this north side.
Little's the emphasis. We are now 46 minutes in the game, and Rams are still the key unit here for Marine Lord. Break through the walls, but look at the production buildings in this area. Like, Wham is going to get an army in position, and Marine Lord may have just made an enemy for life. Yeah, I think that might be the case, and this opens up a possibility for Beastie here. Now, you talked about that south corner. He's got farms going down on that south corner, which to me indicates a desire to stay down there a little bit longer, and perhaps we see him even walling down there. Honestly, I know it isn't because Marine Lord could have fought behind this, but the way he's finding his choke points, he looks like a poor man's army right now. This castle's done a lot of work to boil and oil, and it's all because the buildings around it that are body blocking him from getting on top of the Rams. Yeah, it makes it so painful dealing with these buildings like this. And you have to clear out these buildings. If you don't, the units will just keep coming and blocking you. But we see Horseman now rounding the corner as well. Looks like he's going to be able to take out at least... Nope, never mind. Doesn't take out anything. But he is going to fall back, or at least retreat for a little bit. Damage is still good here. How is that king going to go on an escape? There's not a lot of villages here to build. He needs to build a gate at the north side to get the king out. I don't think he needs to leave, right? Like, I don't think this is strong enough right now. Like, even if Wham just keeps trickling in men-at-arms that die to Streltsy, they're in range of the Berkshire now, right? Like, that's the Barrett 50 cal at the top of the sniper tower. That's going to knock everything out. But Wham's max pop, that's the other problem. He's maximum population. Where are the rest of these units? They're still making their way across. 20 seconds away, and they're thick. There's a lot of boys here. The bombards, the hand cannoneers. Looks like Wham is just pivoting everything. The problem is Recon is not letting up. So I think Wham wanted to redirect his full attention to Marine Lord, but looks like he's made an enemy for life in the south. Yeah, this isn't good. I mean, if anything, this is working well for Beastie, right? Beastie's just biding his time. He's stacking up those resources. He's up to 31k food. He's having a great time over here. And now just working on that stone. How much stone is actually left on the map? I suspect not much. If you can reach it, a decent amount, but most of it is in the Kingdom of WoW. Yeah, I saw 1,300, 900 over here. Yeah, not a whole lot. 2,400, so 3,700. Like, there's over 4k. Actually, like, wow, there's even some around Recon. There's actually quite a lot of stone left. Just none of it near Beastie is the problem. Yeah, I got to agree with you. He's got 400 stone near him. He's actually looking to take it right now as well. We can check in with a market and see what the market rate is for stone at the moment. Let's have a look and see if I can find a market. I don't actually use a hotkey for markets because I never build them. You know, my macros you know where you're not going to find a market at this rate is in Wham's base because Recon's still going. Yeah, wow, look at him go. Actually, there's a market. It was right. There you go, right? Yeah. Let me double check because that is surely not right. Apparently, stone can be purchased right now for 170 gold, which is the base price. Wow. That's great. That is amazing. Inflation, I'll take that. That is incredible. I'll take
I'll take 20.
Yeah. You know what? At that rate, I could buy and build my own house, and it's cheaper to buy one in the UK today. That's a bloody bargain.
Yeah. I mean, I guess inflation hasn't hit yet, right? Like, it'll hit eventually.
No, not for these guys. No. These guys are just like, yeah, gold is good. They haven't figured out stock market yet.
Well, you mentioned that you wouldn't be finding much of a market in Wham's base, and that is indeed the case now, as the market has been sieged down by Recon. Recon definitely meaning business. But, I mean...
Yeah, but Recon's not going to stop, by the way. Like, Recon has been bargaining this in the in-game chat the entire time. I think the words he used was, Wham is like 400 pop right now, right? So he's convinced other players to get involved. I think Marine Lord done some sort of, God, it's too strong. Like, he can't go in.
Yeah.
But Recon is going to keep going. And we know what Beastie's going to do in this situation, right? He's going to lap it up. He's going to kind of like, you know, probe a little, help out a little bit with Wham, but probably insulate himself for that idea of a wonder later that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and we can see that Marine Lord's preparing for the potential Beastie backstab. Obviously, he would be aware of what happened on the other side of the map from undoubtedly the chat that happens. Look at Recon. Recon actually going to be moving his king to the far west corner. Both of these guys very aware of Beastie, saying, you know what, I got to be careful of this guy. He is an absolute, well, let's just say it right now. He is very sneaky.
Man, like, my concern here is that, like, is Beastie actually going for this kind of, like, wonder victory, or is he prepping to slap Marine Lord in the back? Because I just saw all the buildings being built on the right side of his base. So while Wham is being harassed by everyone in the lobby, Beastie's kind of just committing, like, what is that, 30 troops? And that's it.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount. Yeah, what is he up to, this beast? I guess realistically, like, there's no world where he sneaks units into Marine Lord's base. It's always going to get spotted. There are so many wooden fortresses here, it's just guaranteed. So
but he could plow town him in the back full force, right, while he's not paying attention. And in the meantime, like, hope the Marine Lord is burning himself out. We can see Marine Lord is not doing that, by the way. Like, his reserves, and this boy is saving for, like, the nuclear fallout, right? He's going to have, like, the most premium Fallout 76 vault possible. It's going to be pimped out with all the gold trims. Like, he's not running out anytime soon. But obviously, Beastie doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Up towards the north, though, Marine Lord is looking to try and push through, create a dent in this monster that is Wham. A couple of relics now going to fall on the ground here. Wham going to be losing all relics that he's got. And, I mean, this is something that we talked about earlier, right? Like, that Wham had played it well. He was in a good spot, but he was kind of piggy in the middle.
Yeah, I think, like, Wham's issue in this game was, like, he had an opportunity to just kill, like, consistently push into Recon and kill him. And then he stopped, right? Like, it got kind of muddy down there when they were taking out Anatan, and then Beastie got involved a bit. And it kind of felt like the brakes were set for a while for Wham. In fact, he was even saying in the chat he wasn't sure who to attack. And I think now the answer's become clear. He should have attacked any of these people, because now they're just ganging up on him.
Yeah. Now, I guess one of the other things to note, because there might be some people wondering, isn't this teaming up? Isn't this unfair that, you know, they're not meant to be teaming? You've got to remember that we have very specific rules that allow you to call out a player who is a runaway or considered a runaway. And in this case, even though Wham's only got a 50 population lead over his nearest rival, Recon or Marine Lord, that's still enough to justify a call out, because he's so much of a threat that if he was to put down a wonder, he'd be able to defend it very, very well, even with 300 population. So they're calling him out and saying, you know what, we got to deal with this guy. We got to take him out for the benefit of all three of us. And I think that's a smart move. I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah, but the funny part is if you had the info we had right now, there's only one person that would be seen as a runaway. And it's the other English player, right? It's Beastie. Look at his resource bank. This is getting ridiculous. He's prepping for it.
He is. Yeah, he's got enough now to throw down that wonder. The problem that he's going to have is it's 15 minutes and 4 people in the game. I mean, once, if I was Beastie, I'd just be committing a lot more to this push. And then just be looking to throw down that wonder as soon as possible. Because the problem
I think, like, he can't. He needs kills, right? So, like, this little army of SAS boys on the go, I think that's just, like, if there's a king here, maybe he gets to snipe, he gets that 50 pop because he needs it, right? But even after Wham dies, Beastie has to kill another player before he thinks about a wonder. Like, he's going to be 200 pop versus a combined 500 at least.
In game 1 today, we actually saw State hold on against 3 people with 200 pop And he held on for an incredible amount of time. I think it was 12 minutes that he held on for, maybe 13 minutes. It was amazing. So I'm not going to put it past Beastie to be able to hold off on a 2v1, even on 200 pop.
That's true. I feel like in that game, the attention was a bit more funneled, right? So people, they weren't coming from the exact same angle, but like one, State was running camels, and two, they were closer together. Look at the map here and think about what the English are running. Spearmen and cannoneers.
Yeah.
And you're going to get slammed from the left, and then you get slammed from the right, right? You're the awkward, flimsy piece of meat in a very thick sandwich.
And thick ain't good, not in this context. I mean, thick is normally pretty good.
It's too, but you want to taste the meat, right? You know, you don't just want to taste bread unless you're a duck. And I'm a pigeon, so it doesn't resonate the same way.
All right, well, we got ourselves a little bit of a move around here. Recon heading towards the top side, trying to bait away a couple of the troops. At the same time, it looks like Marine Lord is going to be coming in and applying pressure on the bottom. So instead of it going to be a sandwich that a duck will eat, looks like it's going to be a sandwich that, well, Wham is going to be the eaten one.
This is rough for Wham. 50 minutes from now. He's still got 30,000 food in reserve, man. Like, the problem, though, is, like, Wham hasn't got a win condition any time in the foreseeable future, so, like, this type of harassment does hurt.
I mean, Wham probably should have just put down a wonder. At least they didn't have a win condition, right?
I mean, you know, maybe you should have, like, just need to find a way to get that final sacred site, Drongo. You know, had, like, what, 5 of them? Come on, just push it and take the last 2. They're only in 2 different people's bases.
It's a little bit tough, considering one of them is Beastie. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance you're going to be taking that one. Battering rams coming in on the top side.
I just watched all the villagers at the backside get massacred. Just like, if we hide behind this house, maybe they won't see us.
They saw us.
Oops. No, it was Chubby Tim. Like, his belly was sticking out the side. The rest of them were definitely hit.
All right, well, King still inside the Berkshire Palace for the moment. Wham is trying to hold on. No pressure from the south side. It looks like Marine Lord has been pushed back for the moment, but his army is moving in a peculiar way.
You say peculiar. Do you mean that maybe... Okay, it is the Roost, so maybe they're just doing one of those military parades they do, like, every Friday, you know?
It could be. It could be that. Or it could be that he's heading towards Beastie's base. Now,
that's a possibility.
Granted, Beastie's got 57 military pop, and I'm pretty sure all of it is actually in the base of Wham at the moment. Yeah, pretty close to it.
Okay, but then look at Beastie's resources and imagine him selecting all the farms or somewhere else on the map, hit the delete key, and then I'm just going to click on a villager to find out how many buildings this is, because I can't be asked to count. 43 Raxes, 30 archery rangers. I have a feeling he can get an army in position quick enough.
Does he have it in queue, though? He doesn't actually have them in queue. Interestingly. Does not have anything in queue at the moment. I guess he can, but I guess it's 30 seconds away, right? But look at this, battering rams from Marine Lord now. Gonna be heading towards Beastie's Palisade gates. Do we finally see a breakaway coming through? He's put down a lot of production, and this is going to be covering the distance between that Berkshire Palace and that front line. Looks like, geez, it looks probably about 30 buildings there.
I mean, it's gonna take a while to get through these with rams. Like, it'll do a little bit of damage, but I don't think it's irreparable. You know, it's crazy to think, like, we're getting this late in the game. There's still so much wood available. So, like, you know how usually you reach a point in the game where losing all your, like, production hurts? We're not even there yet.
Not yet. Well, it looks like Beastie and Marine Lord are going to be having some fun once again. Battering rams are on the way through. A lot of units coming through for Marine Lord. Sitting on 128 military pop at the moment. Springalds teeing off once again towards these battering rams. They're looking to break through. So much production here, KP. This is crazy.
Yeah. It took a long time to build up as well. BC didn't like rush this. Really kind of chill approach, man. The crazy part is, like, because he's mostly reliant on rams, he could just kind of dive past these and it wouldn't cost him his backline. Like, when you have bombards in this position, you have to protect them, right? Because if you dive past all these buildings, units come out and they kill your bombards.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have that issue like most comps do.
The one problem that you do have is that there'll be a roadblock. There'll be enough units that will start blocking, and then you'll have no choice but to start attacking. And it looks like Beastie is going to be able to hold it without too much of an issue here.
Meanwhile, Wham's base has now been turned into bees. He just decided to live there now. Multiple TCs in the north, and now he is a corner camper.
Kind of makes sense to be throwing down more TCs here, considering he lost a lot of villagers. He's down to 55 vills at the moment. And you probably want to get back up to a reasonable number.
I keep looking for the moment where I'm going to see recons trading. And surprisingly, we haven't reached that phase yet. He might think about it soon, though. Like, he's only getting 400 gold a minute. Seems like he's struggling to find extra veins to tap.
There is a neutral market that was once owned by Anatand in the middle of the map. At least I think, yeah, I'm 99% sure this was Anatand's market. Beastie does actually see it right now, so whether or not he's looking for it is going to be a different matter, because sometimes you see it and you don't do the math. But that's definitely a source of gold that could be utilized.
Okay, hear me out. What if Recon's raid on that north side was all about getting stuff out of the way so that he could have traded with B's marketplace? That sounds like a Recon plan to me.
Where's the B market? Oh my god, look at that B market. That's incredible, isn't it?
It's tempting, right? But now there's
right
TCs in the way.
Yeah, it makes it a bit harder. All right, well, I guess Wham could always look to trade with it, but never have I seen Wham trade. Ever.
No. And you know, he really wants to get that sexy, like, 20% of the map.
He's actually starting to siege down these buildings in the back. You talked a bit about this earlier. And that it was difficult and frustrating to deal with this. I'm going to try and check in with a market here and see if we can spot out.
I'm pretty sure Beastie is just buying everything up, right? He's trying to crash the market. He has 9k stone now.
Oh, that's actually very smart. Keep it expensive for the other people. I still don't know where his market is.
You know, like, also you just set yourself up for a wonder victory because now he's building stone walls in the southern corner.
Well, that's what I like to hear. I still don't know. Where is Beastie's market? Oh, there it is. We found it. So 266. That's still a really good price for stone. I'm surprised that it's not at like 500 yet.
I think he's just been doing it intermittently, right? Because he's been like buying up for the last several minutes. We mentioned a long time ago he didn't have access to stone, and that was when he had like 3,000. Now he's up to almost 9,000.
Actually, Beastie going for a wonder victory here makes a fair bit of sense. When you think about it, he's just cleaned out all of the front of Wham's base. Wham's got a big army, but that basically means that Wham can go for maybe 1-2 waves. So as long as you clear out Wham's push, which you should be able to grind down eventually, you should be okay.
Well, also, like, consider where Marine Lord has to go through your base, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be bogged down with all these like landmark keeps you've got, all the crap in the area. Really, you're only directly dealing with recon for at least the first few minutes of the wonder.
Yes. Yeah, Marine Lord will eventually work through it. But you're Beastie Cutie. You can multitask that pretty easily. We do see a little bit of a push coming out, though. It looks like Recon realizes that Beastie may be up to something. Begins to siege down the first of the keeps.
Yeah. It's still hidden for the moment, like, vision-wise. He's not going to see this easily, right? Like, he didn't bring any scouts out in the area. I imagine what Recon's more like to do here is head towards Beastie's base.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable play. Still don't see any traders, at least yet, on the map. I love that Recon is still gathering from this stealth forest. Look how far his villagers are gathering. He's almost finished out here.
He's been at it for so long. Just feels like he's clearing the area to build a city here, you know?
I wouldn't be surprised. I want to check in with Beastie. I want to see whether we've got any keeps coming up. No keeps coming up yet on this south side.
He doesn't want to make it too obvious, like maybe get the walls in place and then put the keeps down afterwards, right?
Oh god, my game froze. Never mind, we're back. I'm okay. I'm okay. All right, we're back. We're back. That was a little bit scary. When I see units freeze like that, whew.
Hey, you want to know what improves your frame rate? If you just quickly, like, on the player thing, if you go from reveal map all to reveal map select to player only.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and what that does is that, like, it bursts your PC with more frames.
Ah. Oh, yeah.
It's very rejuvenating. It's like downloading more RAM. It's always
that sounds wonderful. Yes. It's especially in games where there's a lot of people, like 8 people, it works really well.
Mm-hmm. You know, I can honestly say, after downloading 64 gigs of RAM from the internet, Age of Empires 4 has like never ran smoother. Like, because I can't open the game anymore. I got so many viruses. You should all download more RAM.
If you haven't, now's your chance. All right, well, we got ourselves...
We got enough RAM in game already.
We do. We've got ourselves a bit of a lull period here. No one really picking a fight with anyone at the moment. DMZ between Marine Lord and Wham looks like it's been re-established.
I'm legit just waiting for like the comment in the chat where it's like, so you guys come here often? Right? It's just kind of reached that awkward someone say something moment for them.
Well, BC with a bit of a push out now. Springald's on the back line. Going to be able to take out those mangoes. But I can't help but feel like he's just going to be overwhelmed with the amount of units that are here. And indeed, that is going to be the case. Look at the Springald micro coming out from Marine Lord. This guy means business.
Yeah, it's just going to be a cleanup. So Beastie just gets reset again. I mean, Marine Lord wants to have this kill. He feels like it should be so simple, but Beastie's just been a nuisance. Like, he just has clean production, and I'm just looking at the bank of these two. I mean, if I had to put a time on how long this game's going to take, Rongo, do you have anywhere to be tonight? Because I think we could see, like, a 2 instead of a 1 on the timer.
Well, technically it is Mother's Day in Australia.
Okay.
So I do need to call my mum at some point. It's 5 a.m. at the moment. So not really. But I actually do need to take my wife out for breakfast. So we'll probably do that at some point as well. But yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be too difficult.
No, it's fine, right? When this game gets that long and nothing happens and you feel like crying, that's the perfect time to call your mother and tell her how much you love her, you know? Like, you really carry the emotion there. You're like, I love you, Mom. This game broke me.
I've made a mistake. But speaking of mistakes, it looks like Marine Lord not yet to make one with mangonels. Going for 9 mangoes right here. And also throwing down siege workshops on the front line. This is someone who looks serious. When I see these siege workshops, that's when I know it's getting serious. And this many mangoes. I mean, we've seen Siege EQD online already today. Do we see Marine EQD online today? That's going to be the real question. Or maybe it's called Siege Lord.
Serene Lord. There you go.
I like it. I will take it.
That kind of sounds very Sailor Moon-y now. Someone's going to have to go and do some stuff in Photoshop for me.
She is the one, Sailor Moon.
And then just like cross-reference it with the 80 Bunty song, you know?
That could work.
God,
that could work.
That
So it looks like the siege workshops are probably just going to get taken down immediately. Marine Lord was trying his best to push through, but the Springalds have just been able to hold the line.
Yeah, this is like, it's just kind of like stuck in a rock. And the funny part is like, this, if everyone's like, show me Recon, show me Wham, like there's nothing happening there. Recon's just vibing. He's going for the 100k food challenge because Recon wants to feed the world. And Wham is still kind of just rebuilding. I think he's now prepping the corner for what comes later. In fact, he might be prepping it for a wonder play sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think he might be. Do you go for a wonder there? I mean, if you put a wonder right in the corner, he's going to throw the keep down in the corner. He's going to wall the keep, so probably just moving the king on. That definitely makes sense. But you feel a little bit more exposed towards Recon's position. At least that's how I would feel.
Yeah, I mean, Recon's... It's like this cool plan of putting your king in the corner, and then you see how open and barren the distance is between his first and second wall, right? It's quite a wide position that Recon's taken.
Well, speaking of wide, Marine Lord right now moving in with a wide load into the base of Beastie. Beastie trying to hold on. He's got 5 Springals. Have been caught out of position a little bit here by the Horsemen. Streltsy on the back line. A distinct lack of siege coming through. We start to see more Springals on the way. Wham producing a couple units. He actually reaches maximum population right now. He must have just deleted a whole bunch of something.
I like how they're pretending to be trees right now. They are the correct color for it. I don't think like Wham wants to even check what's happening outside the base though. Like until a player's been eliminated, I have a feeling he's not even going to come out of his base.
Yeah, I think the same thing. He's learned his lesson. He played it tough early on. Look at Beastie, 78k food right now up against Marine Lord. Yeah, up against Marine Lord who's on 49k. These guys have all just got so much money.
Yeah, but like look at Recon again, 92k.
And
oh my god! And look what Recon's doing in his base right now. Do you like Rams? We've seen a lot of them, but I think we have a new record for this game.
Wow.
Recon is looking to download 64 gigs of RAM.
Oh my lord. He's got 50 Rams on the field right now. Do you just have that many Ram? Like, technically, he could just put his units inside them and just march them towards a base. What could actually stop that? I mean, the best way to stop it would probably be a body block. So maybe you'd have to approach from different angles?
I think the best thing to stop that is leading them into your opponent's base. That's kind of the only option when you get this phase. Like, Rams are so finicky to try and deal with in this quantity. Like, truly, the biggest ally against Rams is their own pathfinding when you get to this scale.
Yeah, Ram pathfinding is just not... look, I wouldn't write home about it. It's not particularly fun. But speaking of writing home, we've got some units for Wham actually going to be pushing out towards those Rams. Rams still just chilling out for the moment, though. 50 Rams. I used to get excited when I'd see, like, 18 Rams. But 50 Rams?
Right?
Wow.
Much better. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the siege towers to come in. Like, you guys, the siege towers got buffed in the new coming pack, right?
They got slightly more health. Now the Rams are on the move. Rams are on the move. 50 Rams, 45 spears. He's putting the spears inside. He's doing it. He's doing it. This is actually the play. You put all the units inside so that they stay alive so that they can surround the king and kill him.
Shuffles on. Now, keep in mind that outposts in the area, so BC's going to get a very early heads up on this, followed by a response to what the hell is this? But right now, he can't do anything about it because Marine Lord is still gaining ground into the base of the English.
Marine Lord also sees this. He's got an outpost in position. Technically, it's a wooden fortress, but the game calls it an outpost. I'm not quite sure why it does that. But this is a big attack that's coming in. It's almost like a suicide attack as well. I mean, probably not, but the attack is, you know, it serves one purpose, and that is to eliminate Beastie.
And the brilliant part is, like, Recon could be even faster about this. Like, he doesn't even necessarily have to go through the palisades. Probably will anyway. Right, you get bonus damage up against those walls. So they don't last very long. And how do you deal with this now? You're a 200 pop cap player who is already struggling to hold his base on one side. I think your position may have been over-leveraged here. Indeed.
Yeah, this is gonna get tough. That is a lot of battering rams. This amount of battering rams makes Calp proud. We saw Calp's...
Sorry, are we about to see a guy with 100,000 resources saved die?
It could be the day. It could be the day. Yeah, he's got a lot of resources in the bank right now. Quite literally 100,000 on the dot resources. Wow. This is...
was that a castle or was it made of like paper mache?
I think it was, yeah.
It's all disappearing.
It was definitely, it was made by the, is it the Three Little Pigs? That got, yeah, I think it's the Three Little Pigs.
Oh, and he came and he huffed and he puffed and he used a very powerful heat blow to blow it all down.
And right now, Recon is blowing like a, well, yeah, I'm gonna, there's so many things that could be blowing right now. I'm just gonna leave it, okay? You could be talking.
He's blowing harder than like 7-year-old me into a Nintendo 64 game card.
Beautiful, exactly what we were looking for. But look at this, Beastie's actually... hey, hold the horses. King's on the ground, fish out of water, ladies and gentlemen. Beastie making moves out here. He knows he's in trouble. The king is out. He's trying to find a way through. King standing, biding time, holding out a little bit longer. Marine Lord in on this south side. It looks like the weak link has been identified, and it's going to be the Beast in the east. More Rams on the way in.
But, like, he has no easy way out, right? Like, if he doesn't move south right now, he's blocked off. If he does move south, he's just feeding over to Recon. From, like, a point standard, like, we mentioned that, like, Marine Lord getting the kills better for Beast than Recon, right? Because, like, you know, he'll just be further up. The running, it's not a player that can take you over. Looks like he is now out, surrounding all sides. This is not going to be a quick kill from Marine Lord. In fact, the way Marine Lord's diving right now, he's going to throw away his armor. So, Beastie will live a little bit longer.
40 health on that king. He almost got taken out. There were so many units in there. The range units managed to bring him down to 40 health. Less than 10% health remaining. He T-posed his way through it. And behind all of this, the battering rams still work down the production. Beastie maxed 200 out of 200. King jumps inside the keep. He's managed to take out the majority of forces here from Marine Lord, and he's still building. You can see those reinforcements on the way through now.
Yeah, but look at his base. The Ram Tsunami was a success, folks. We're going to need to raise money for Beastie.
It really was a tsunami of Rams, wasn't it? But look at this. Towards the north side of Recon's base, a huge counterattack coming through. Wham says, hello, how you doing? Long time no see, remember me? I'm the guy that you tried to take out earlier. What was it, 15, 20 minutes ago?
It was a very long time ago. Like, this has been like full Revenge of the Sith story. It took 1,000 years. But now they're ready to enact their revenge. And that army is strong, by the way. 70 hand cannoneers on the front side. He's got multi-siege units. And remember, Recon hid his king in the western corner. So Wham can play away from the reproduction of Recon if he looks to go for the kill.
He could 100% do it right now if he is aware. I would suspect he knows where the king is, just judging by the way that he's posturing here. He's kind of working towards his top side. And you can see that Recon is looking to try and cut that off as well. It looks like Beastie lives another day. I don't believe I'm saying it right now. I thought it was almost certain that Beastie was going to be going down. But somehow he manages to live on.
I'm not sure how much this feels like living, though. He needs to rebuild his production buildings. Otherwise, he won't be able to maintain 200 pop. But, like, look at the north side, right? It's even worse than we originally thought. Because Wham set up a proxy base. So he's going to be able to reinforce this fight just as quickly as Recon is on the defensive. But he has a 50 population advantage.
Not to mention that he's also looking pretty solid on that military number as well. He's sitting at 194 at the moment. Now pushing through big amounts of siege. Beautiful surround, though, coming in from Recon from all sides, from the west, from the east. The surround looks to come through. Not going to be able to keep alive all of this siege on the back line. Villagers also moving forward. He's looking to throw down an outpost. The Trebs coming in to have a little bit of a kiss. Never mind the Springles. It's going to be the Trebuchets that look for kisses today. And it looks like all of these Abbasid forces remain alive. They do survive. And he's holding on.
Man, that was like Grandpa looking for a kiss. Just rejected at every turn. I mean, honestly, the strength for this cavalry comp from Recon. The problem now is Wham isn't quick to reinforce. We mentioned that proxy base, but like, it's only for Raxes and siege workshops, right? So if he ever loses the hand cannoneers, he's fully reset. But for now, Wham keeps them alive.
54 hand cannoneers. Wham up to 15 mangonels. I don't know who you are, Wham. I don't know where you're from. What have you done with Wham, and how did you replace him with CG Cutie? Or am I talking about, was it Marine Lord? What was the other name that I saw in chat? Machine Lord. That was a good name.
Lord?
I like that, Machine Lord.
Speaking of Third CGQ, he's becoming Wally QE now. This stone wall to protect his king. He's creating choke points to prevent Marine Lord getting in. And we already mentioned, like in the one-on-one, Beastie was holding. So he's far from out of this game. Now the Recon is bogged down on the west.
Plenty of Trebs here as well. He's up to 8 Trebuchets now. Meanwhile, battering rams are making their way back through over onto that west corner. Where's the king? Where's the king? Oh, the king's escaped. I didn't even realize the king has escaped for Recon. I've got no idea where he's gone, though.
He went back to the one that Beastie attempted to take out, right?
Oh, yeah.
The sneak keep. Yeah. So right next to near his primary TC, up against the edge of the map, he's just moved all the way back there. That's a smart play by Recon. I mentioned that he's playing away from production. Now Wham has to headbutt his way into reinforcements.
The defenses are just so strong in this game.
I told you, 2 hours, man. It's still looking like it's going that way.
And I guess this is just one of the cases with free-for-alls. You never know how the cookie's going to crumble. Do you get a 25-minute Salami Sacred Site victory? Or do you get a 2-hour slogfest where 4 players just survive non-stop for those whole 2 hours?
They're just making up for how short game number 2 was. You know, we've got to get more ads in on Twitch, Stronger. Come on.
Exactly. Slash roll the commercials, please.
5 more ads coming your way. When you come back, they may have moved like half a screen from where they are now.
All right, well, the numbers are looking pretty good down here for Marine Lord. He's sitting on that 250 pop. But realistically, not a huge difference between him and Beastie. It feels to me like Beastie's holding on for dear life, but I guess the other thing to note is Beastie's got so many resources stacked up, he's probably not going to notice it.
Man, I'm just loving the smack coming out in the chat right now. Like, Recon is just baffled by the amount of gold that Wham has. He's still got 10k in the bank. And meanwhile, like, look at Recon's food number. I know it doesn't seem like much because he does 51k, but he was close to 100k before. This Camel Horseman comp is actually burning him at a pace that I don't think he can keep up with.
It's it's interesting to see how fast you burn through it, right? Like, and Abbasid food economy is incredible. Oh my god, he hasn't got precision crossbreeding. He doesn't have
What?
the tier 3 upgrade Wham. Oh, sorry, Recon. Recon doesn't have the tier 3 upgrade for his farms. Oh,
Recon, what are you doing? You could have saved the world. You could have fed all the children. All the ones working in Drongo's sweatshops could have had a full belly if we hit the 100k food. Now it's never happening.
At least he's got agriculture, the unique Abbasid upgrade. But,
True.
I mean, the camels are doing pretty solid work here at the moment. Let's check in over on that east side because Marine Lord is looking to push in once again against Beastie, but, I mean, the numbers are just so significant here. It feels nigh impossible that he's going to get through all of this unless he builds up a big ball of siege, which could be an option for him, honestly.
Like, I'm just looking at the siege for Marine Lord. It's gotten pretty far in, but like, there's nothing to ever repair it. I feel like it gets so deep and then just finally gets sniped, and we kind of end up back in that midpoint where they had walls once upon a time. But there's no denying that BC's base is getting smaller. He's just kind of negotiating smaller and smaller parts, and this sacred site is now kind of a curse for him. He can't wall himself in.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's definitely starting to struggle with it. Mangonels are going to have to fall back for the moment. Never mind, they move forward. He spots out a whole bunch of forces. Misses the shots. Battering ram starting to roll in. Marine Lord with quite a few battering rams here. Men at Arms going to be able to connect with the Mangonels. Over towards that west side, though. Looks like the push is still going ahead for Wham. These guys are starting to really spend a lot of their resources now. Wallalol for Beastie. I don't think it works against Ram, so he should be fine. A couple of Strelts are going to be walking in. Got to be careful. Indeed, the Rams do not get affected. And now looking to focus down the buildings.
This proof that Rams don't have consciences, so they can't be converted, right? You can't teach them their viewpoint is wrong. They understand only one thing, destroy and destroy again. These Rams are like, they seem like a distraction, but they're only a distraction if you pay attention to them. If you don't, they're the win condition, because these keeps are going to start falling. Meanwhile, your army is still losing, and the only play left for Beastie, he built the gate, he's on the wall with the hand cannon is. It might be his one hurrah to stay alive here.
Indeed, and it just like Obi-Wan, he's got the high ground, and he's able to force back all of these units here. He needs, I think Marine Lord needs to pull out just a Mangonel mass. Just give me 47 Mangonels, Marine Lord, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, for a moment, you know, he's looking like Anakin, and now it's Anakin. And he's got more Mangonels coming, but like, I'm looking at the range, right? Like, he's got 9 tower range compared to the 6, so it's easy to snipe out, but it is going to take a while. And BC, what I want to see is how he uses that time, right? Is he doing anything like a move out of his base? Because remember, these units take reduced damage while they're on the walls.
All right, well, we'll do a quick King check. King is still inside the Berkshire for Beastie. Down over towards that west side. Recon's King safely inside the keep. And for Marine Lord, his King is inside a keep that is behind stone walls. And of course for Wham, the Berkshire in the north.
What in the mother of proxy is this? Have you seen Wham's newest base?
It is...
It's the front line.
I feel like Wham has played a fair bit of no rush in his time. This looks like I feel like I'm watching a no rush player right now. The way he's pushing up with this building, these buildings are impressive. Seriously.
Oh yeah, it's like, it's getting 2 points as well, right? So the mass horsemen can't get on the sieges easily. By the way, look at the resources, right? Let's not talk about the East where they've been pussyfooting it and they've still got like hundreds of thousands in reserve. Recon and Wham, both of them are burning their back up here. Recon has been reduced from almost 100,000 food to 2,000.
This ain't good for Recon right now. For anybody wondering, you don't want to have 0 food. Ideally, 100,000 is where you'd want to be. It avoids you from starving.
I mean, I know fresh foodstuffs means that the Abbasids, you know, you're meant to usually have extra food, but this, you know, 3K isn't really what I consider extra food an hour and a half into a game. And the problem is now, look at what he has to do. He has to go into men-at-arms in this matchup. That's a death sentence.
Yeah, look, and he's down to 160 population. This could be it right now. And remember earlier on what happened, right? We had 3 people up against Wham, unable to take him out. They all went their separate ways. A little bit of a sneaky attack came through. Marine Lord said, you want a piece of me? Have some. Beastie took it. Now they've been locked in a bit of battle. But guess what? One man lived. It was Wham. He somehow stayed alive throughout all of it. And now we start to see him reaping the rewards of his patience.
Man, it's like one of those classic twin revenge stories, right? You thought you killed me, but that was actually just my brother all along. And now, Like a rising phoenix, this man looks unstoppable. He needs to time this right. If he kills Recon too fast, Beastie and Marine Lord might stop and go after him.
Correct.
You need them to now burn their resources so that you don't just get jumped the moment you get a kill.
The problem is, as soon as somebody goes down, I think you're going to see a Wonder thrown down immediately. So
that's true.
How do you even go about navigating this in the late game? Because Wham doesn't have enough to actually build the Wonder anymore. Recon doesn't have enough to build the Wonder anymore. Beastie technically does, and so does Marine Lord, but they're the two guys that are going to be, I mean, threatening it over on that east side.
Like, in my eyes, the only player who can actually build a Wonder safely right now is Wham. And by the way, Wham suddenly has 5,000 stone, and he's aware of what he can do now. Look at the lay of the land structure. He has this corner safe far away. If Marine Lord builds a Wonder, he's either placing it very close to Beastie's base or very close to Wham's base. If Beastie builds a Wonder, how, like, what base is he hiding this behind to, like, protect him, right? Like, he's rebuilt the backline production, but his base is still kind of half the size it once was.
This is true. All right, well, the push is coming forward. So much siege here right now from Wham 01. Couple of culverins out here from Recon. He's trying to hold on with only 500 gold left in the bank. Barely a little bit over 200 population. And it looks like Wham is going to be taking him out here.
Please go round. He can't even get round. The hand cannoneers would massacre him on the flank attack. He'll get through the front line, but like, all I see is a world in which Wham now can afford to replace what's lost. Recon could not. He has 100 gold income per minute, and he's trying to mass men-at-arms and hand cannoneers. Good luck.
Hand cannoneers overwhelming that front line completely. And now just start one-shotting everything. Bombards, trebuchets, everything is going to be working towards these buildings. The King still sitting inside that keep over along the edge of the map. We'll ride back in again over on that east side and check in with Marine Lord and Beastie as they are still locked in fierce battle.
Oh, this is deep. This actually might be deep enough this time. Like, if he holds this position, the Rams are already on the Berkshire. Looks like, once again, Marine Lord, he hesitates. Just kind of reforms the lines and pulls away. That does draw aggro into the Rams, which allows him to pick off reinforcements. He's keeping Beastie's head down in the mark, but he's far from killing him at this stage.
Beastie's up to 10 Springolds now inside the base here. And remember, the English Springolds are insane because they've got that extra attack speed. He can use them as long-range snipers. You can see him now actually just taking out units.
I mean, it's effective, right? Usually we see culverins used at this stage as like the long-range snipers, but no world in which you're going to do it this game. It is a pretty cool way for this to play, and it's just this Berkshire, man. This Berkshire is adding a lot of damage in, and it's only costing him wood to repair. I say only. That's the thing that Beastie probably doesn't want to spend if you look at his resource bank, as wood is finally starting to dry up in his part of the map. Yeah,
he's not going to be able to afford a Wonder, which means that in the event that Recon gets eliminated here over on the west side, you can see the King's actually making a bit of a run for it at the moment. He's going to be heading through.
Where are we going?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. He's going to be heading through towards the east.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to do some miraculous finessing here, Drongo, because everyone has info. This is a shared, like, information network here, right? It's like CIA and MI6 working together. So the moment you walk out that base, the other two players instantly know.
Yeah. It's a little bit rough right now for Recon. You can see that King is just kind of... He's actually just chilling safely. That's what he's doing. He's not escaping. He's just hanging out. He knows that he was in trouble down there. So he says, it's fine. I'm going to bide myself a little bit longer.
He kind of looks like, I don't want to be a king anymore. I want to be a simple, humble farmer. And he's so bad at the job, he can't actually even grow crops. Just a desolate farm that he's standing on.
Actually going to be putting...
Wait, are we got the siege down?
Yeah, so I think he's going to be putting the King up on this stone wall a little bit further away. So that'll keep him alive for a bit longer. You can see now.
This is his stone wall.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is he... Wait, so yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, we're going with this... All right, well, I think Recon has been watching too many repeats of Star Wars Episode 3. The high ground is not that.
Well, at least... oh, no, he made the gates in the wrong way. Oh, he's just going to be able to come down the other side. Oh, he's going to be able to come down. Look at this. He comes up, and then he goes down. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, he's focusing down the siege tower. The king's on the ground. The king's on the ground. The king's exposed. One round goes off. He T-poses and he makes it through to the other side, but the stone wall's there. He needs to delete the stone wall. Is he going to be able to do it? He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Throws down a gate now up against the edge of the edge of the map. At the same time, we've got a big attack coming in from Marine Lord. Not going to be able to find anything. Spears running around to the other side. He knows how much trouble he's in. You can see him bringing them back. Mangonel's looking to come through. Still only a handful of hand cannoneers in. 2 or 3. Spears looking to come back around the other side of the map. Should be able to find it. Mangonels are here. He looks to try and snipe it off and instead just sends the king to the top side.
Yeah. And now he waits. Like, he's cleaned up the forces on the south, so now you can just go back that way. Because Wham split his forces up. If he kept the rest on the south side, you could only go north here. But that would have fed. Because look, Beastie, he had vision for these outposts. He was looking for the snipe. But now, Beastie doesn't get that. Instead, he just has 25 pop that isn't defending, and his base is losing more ground.
Oh my lord, he's going to need to download more rams because this is not going well for him right now. Marine Lord, it's been an eternal bush over here on this east side, but somehow it looks like he's starting to make a little bit of headway here. Springalds have managed to be taken out. I think Beastie's down to 1 Springald. Make that 0.
And by the way, in Recon's defense, this was not an idiot with bad gates. Like, these gates made sense when you're not, like, defending from inside your base. It's just this game has gotten so muddy. You have to remember that Wham pushed all the way from the northwest corner to the southeast here. He just reverse sweep through Recon's base the way he intended.
All right, well, it looks like the king is on the run. He's going to break back through to the other side, and you can see Beastie is having his outpost torched down here on the south side. Meanwhile,
he's trying to sneak back to that keep. Like, yeah. Recon, he keeps trying to go back into his territory.
And he keeps falling for it as well. Look at this. He keeps buying it every single time. And Beastie with units down here. He's trying his best. King looks like it's jumped into the second keep. He managed to keep it alive. King popped out.
Yeah, but the bark shear going down. The bark shear is the big deal, Drongo. Remember, he can repair this with wood. You know, he's got loads of stone to work with. He really needs to be dropping more keeps. He's never had a chance to use it. He's sitting here with 6,000 stone still.
Marine Lord doesn't actually have enough resources in the bank to throw down a wonder. He's been spending it all on these battles.
And by the way, like, him running out of wood is big here. He needs horsemen. He's kept the Streltsy alive. Like, he's running them so far away from home that horseman's the only thing he can easily reinforce with. So if he ever, like, it reaches the point where he's just throwing raw Streltsy in, he's going to fail to keep this pressure up.
All right, well, King is running on the move. Yeah, King is still on the move over here. It seems like Wham made a little bit of a mistake. Instead of running units around the outside and anticipating that he would be faked out, he just kind of committed everything. And as a result, it's not going well for him. He's getting... I mean, Benny Hill music is playing. I can hear it. You can hear it. We can all hear it.
And he's got more RAM now, by the way. Are we going to do one of those kind of club tricks where you put the ball under one and then you shuffle her around? Oh, man. This is horrible right now, what's happening here. Like, Recon is essentially the kingmaker, ironically, while having a king himself. Because he's keeping this king alive, he's not only distracting Wham, but Beastie's still got, like, 25 units that he's not defending. It's allowing Marine Lord to gradually win this game in this case.
Beastie repairing the Berkshire now. I think the Berkshire is technically dead, so he's still going to have to work to bring this back to life.
Oh my god, look at his wood. Like, it's not easy to afford this. He's found a tree line near the remnants of Recon's base, so he should have some life behind him. Man, like, this don't feel like living anymore. Like, it's been Beastie constantly on the defensive. I guess English players usually enjoy that, but now that we've got trebuchets in the picture from Marine Lord, he doesn't have to throw himself in wildly dying constantly. He can just take his time.
Yeah, you can see him working that Berkshire as well. Just trying to prevent it from coming up completely. Buys himself a little bit more time.
Meanwhile, in Recon land, thanks to the reconnaissance of all these buildings, he knew exactly where Wham's army was the entire time, and now has made a break for the western corner.
He's located the king as well. The king does not have movement speed, but it looks like he's got a couple of keeps, or a triple of keeps to come back to, and this is just buying so much time right now. I mean, for Beastie and for Marine Lord. And I don't really know who that affects positively. Beastie actually on -2 wood right now. So Berkshire not going to be coming up. Does Beastie even have any wood income? Beastie on 285 wood a minute at the moment. So he's suffering.
he's pushing more villagers across to the edge of Recon's base where the walls got destroyed. Like, there's a huge wood cluster there for him, but his villagers aren't perfectly in place. In fact, he hasn't built a new lumber camp, so they are definitely not skipping leg day this week.
Are we going to get a look at perhaps the most amazing long-distance wood gather we've seen yet in this Octagon?
It's more realistic, right? You know, like, I can believe people kind of come back to the village, dropping their wood off, and like, that's a good day work, all right? Let's go sleep.
I'm your worker.
Sadly, the house is much further away. I'm your worker every day of the week.
Indeed. All right, well, have a look at this. Recon actually healing up the king. I don't know how much it's going to matter. He's up to 317 health. He's got that nice little bonus from the culture wing coming through. But he is stuck between a rock and a hard place. The rock being
He's migrating.
Where?
He's going south. He's finally done it. The castle on the countryside is finally being used.
Oh yeah, he's using it. Where's the king? The king is
He's marching across now. He got out. He's only on 146 health. But now Marine Lord, he has to clean up this whole base before he continues through, right? Like, he can't just chase this.
Look at this.
Or he could.
Beastie inside the base of Recon. He knows that Recon is under threat right now. He's got his own units there looking for the king. He's just trying to find a couple of extra points here. The king along the edge of the map. Not again. There's no way he gets out. He pops the movement speed right now. Increased movement speed. No cavalry at all to chase this down. And Wham is going to be coming up empty-handed again. There's a couple of spears down here. 5 spearmen. Whether he finds it or not, it's going to be a different story. The king is out. He pops the treason ability. We know that. Spears move into position. King runs out of movement speed. He comes through.
5 can cut off. 5 can grab you, right? Right angle, but...
Hand cannoneer should be able to do it. He's slowly but steadily tapping away, but the horsemen come out. He should be able to clean it up. The single hand cannoneer gets taken out. Oh, Recon, you are an absolute wonderful player. And I'm sure Wham is not cursing you at all right now.
Recon, like, we've seen the face that he pulls after he has a pint, right? And he's a little bit sloshed. He's pulling that face right now. It's the Have It Lads face. He's loving life.
He's having so much fun, isn't he? Oh my gosh. He is like... I saw a comment in Twitch chat right now. It says Recon is the hide-and-seek champion of 2023. And I got to agree with that. That is a very good assessment of the situation. How does he stay alive like this? I mean, Wham's kind of letting him live as well, and you can see Wham following him around, but it's getting tough, though. It's getting tough. Beastie's forces. Beastie, look at this.
He's stuck in. Beastie's, like, gonna lose more ground in the corner, though, as a result of this. And Recon still fast enough to get away. These hand cannoneers are too slow.
Look at him T-pose his way through. The movement speed yet to come through. Another 20 seconds to go. They're both chasing the king. The king is too fast, man. He's 1.25 tiles. You know what? It's just that these guys are playing English. They got no cavalry.
And he still has the walls up in this area. So they can't get on top of him and stay on top of him, right? The only play they have is to try and get on the wall with the extra range. But they're too bloody slow to get there in time.
This is just...
Oh, my...
He is truly the ultimate hide-and-seek champion. This is impressive. I mean, it's getting a little bit scary at this point, how good he is at hide-and-seek. I can feel the beastie molding right now.
You know, some people aspire to run the London Marathon. I think Recon's going to be skipping training this year. He's done enough running in this game.
He's done an impressive amount. One other thing to note, look at the resources for Beastie. Look at the villages for Beastie. There is...
Then look at the south corner for Beastie.
Yeah, there is becoming an issue right now, and that's where Beastie's not really in a good position anymore. He was in a pretty tenable spot for most of this game, and it seems to have gone on the wayside recently.
But Beastie has a small proxy base. They're still chasing Recon. They're cutting him off. This might be the end of the road for him. He's down to 150 health.
Oh, Beastie. Oh, the bombards. Oh, the bombard fired at the Stonewall Gate, and he missed the opportunity. He's got 36 health. Beastie coming in from the top side. Is he going to be able to find it? There's longbows here. He wants to get to the outpost. The longbows. Beastie for the kill, for the conversion. Beastie, 2 health. He takes it. Recon goes down finally. After 100 minutes in the game, Beastie takes a point from this game. He walks away. He says, thank you very much. He finally does it and shuts down the hide-and-seek champion of 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, Recon is out. What a game from Recon the Madman. I can't believe he did it.
I mean, honestly, Recon was like that guy in DayZ that grabs a car and just drives around the map to the gas station, never stopping, right? Just goes through, gets refill, keeps going. Turns out the counter to that is you just eventually have to camp somewhere on the road and blow his tires out. I mean, Beastie was working hard for that, by the way. He built a small proxy base in the center for the Horsemen. He'd been wrapping his troops around. Like, he actually done a tour of the entire left side of this map. But it is now going to cost him. Although he gets a kill, Beastie cannot match up against Marine Lord anymore. What he has actually done, though, by getting that kill from Wham, is given Marine Lord a way of winning this game.
Very true. And now we enter this interesting phase in the game where Marine Lord doesn't have enough to build a wonder. He's short on wood, whereas Wham doesn't have enough to build a wonder. He's short on stone. So who's gonna budge first? King manages to survive, gets into the keep here for Beastie. It was a little attempt by Marine Lord. But I can't help but feel like it's only going to be a matter of time until, well, this king is threatened. And we can see both players now moving down onto this south corner.
Uh-oh. Beastie just discovered the walls. The walls of the dead player. And the gates are facing the wrong way for him to escape here. So now this is problematic because Beastie, Wham's siege army is on the way. He's already been pressured by Marine Lord. It's just a matter of who gets the kill. There's nowhere left for Beastie to go. This is the end of the road.
King pops out. He stands looking at the armies that lay before him. Unfortunately, they're not his armies.
Build the siege tower, for God's sake, man. This is the moment.
Oh, this is the moment.
It would finally be a good unit. This is the one moment a siege tower isn't just a grief.
You pop... But how much further do you run? Look at this. Even Wham preparing for it. Mangonel's on the back line. Big shots coming through. Springalds could look to try and snipe this one out. The king jumps inside the keep, keeps itself a little bit safer. Mangonel's just cleaning up that back line, and Beastie trying to hold on. He's got his point. Should be enough to keep him alive. King pops out. He baits it. He says, hey, how you doing? Just jumping back in. And Wham nowhere near. It looks like Marine Lord. Wait. Beastie with the hand cannoneers on the back line. He's cleaned up all the siege.
Oh. But none of that. He's making a break for it. Beastie's ran away. He's like, take me. I prefer green.
Oh.
It's a more simple color.
Oh.
Can he get on the wall?
Oh,
He's on the wall.
But the siege.
But the bombers are there. The Mangonels, he's done.
Wham gets the kill. Oh, the king. Good call. I tell you what, I'm legally blind, so I'm glad that we didn't miss that one. We almost missed it, though. Beastie was on the run. Wham takes a kill. We're building wonders. Who's building wonders? Where are they building it? It's Wham. And good game gets called immediately. I'm going to assume that that is Marine Lord tapping out to Wham, realizing he can't match this at all. That is the game, ladies and gentlemen. What an absolute crazy game that we have had right here. Wow. Wham picking up the kill there on Beastie at the end. We're lucky we caught it. 4 English players that game. KP. Wow.
I mean, we should have known this was coming. 4 English players, but we only got an hour and 42 minutes. I feel kind of scammed. I felt like that was a 2-hour game with that many, but that was wild. The king shenanigans from multiple players there. Beastie kind of just knew he was done, right? He saw the writing on the wall the moment the Berkshire was crumbling. The fact that he was able to bring an end to Recon's shenanigans that were going on for over 20 minutes, and I am sure would have continued for another 20 more had it not been for Beastie's intervention. It just like shows you the understanding from that player, right? Like Beastie, he's not going to stubbornly say I can still win this game, but he's going to make sure he takes something with him before he leaves the house.
Exactly. I mean, he's going to be happy that he got at least a kill on the board. You know, that pushes him up at least one more point. We'll take a look at the scoreboard and where we sit at the moment. Now, that's not including the points from this game, but you can see Beastie, he's on 16 points. That'll push him up to 17. It makes it a little bit less likely that he gets knocked out, and that's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to preserve that just a bit more and make sure that he's going to be okay. So I think he's definitely achieved that here. Remember that points do get reset back to 0 in the grand finals, so he's not going to be saving those points for another day. So definitely getting some value there. But if you're watching this on YouTube, in the next video, towards the beginning, we will have the full points for you from this game. They'll be added in. Everybody will be sitting nice and fancy in their respective spot. Make sure you check out KP. I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can watch his content live on Twitch or on YouTube, wherever you'd like to catch him. KP, thank you very much for the cast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.